City Wrestling.
Oh yeah, welcome everybody. I am Dustin Starr, and today Grind City Wrestling goes all elite. Be sure to check out the archives, grindcitymedia.com/podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you're watching and wherever you're listening. This week we go all elite. Today on the program, we're going to talk to one half of the best tag team in the entire world, FTR. Dax Harwood is going to join us on Grind City Wrestling. Plus, I'm going to catch up with a member of the Elite. Brandon Cutler will be on Grind City Wrestling right here today. But first, it's bell time. Introducing my co-host, my tag team partners. Up first is the A-lister, E-Rock, Eric McMahon. What's up, E?
What's up, guys? Glad to be back. AEW this weekend inside FedExForum. Pumped, man. Let's go.
AEW. Be sure to follow E-Rock on Twitter if you want to at @E_MacLife. MacLife. And let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and bring in the third man in the trio. We got a lot to get to today, ladies and gentlemen. It's Devin Walker. Baby. What's up, D?
Yeah, we're rocking that Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah, dog. Shout out Arizona Coyotes. I probably can't name you one player, but it's okay.
Jeremy Roenick used to play for them back in the day.
Shout out Jeremy Roenick. Him and his 1,000 teams he played for. I know who that is. He used to fight all the time, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember distinctively when I was living out in Arizona. This was 20 years ago. Jeremy Roenick played on the team.
Yeah, but now we're here, dog. We got a big weekend. A big week actually in wrestling, low key. But yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. Let's discuss. Embrace debate.
Yeah, be sure to follow Devin on Twitter, especially now at Devin_Walker.
Yeah. I don't know if I want y'all to follow me. I apologize beforehand.
I don't know about all that, but here's what's coming up, guys. We have a huge Grind City Wrestling today. I'm going to be joined by AEW star and member of the Elite, Brandon Cutler, is going to join us right here on the program. Very fun character on AEW. Lots that we can ask him about just before they head over here to FedExForum for AEW Collision this Saturday. Then, before the end of this program, I'm going to talk to former AEW World Tag Team Champion, one half of FTR, Dax Harwood. And you guys remember when he was on the program before, right?
100th. They were on our 100th episode.
Yes. Also, it was their very first interview after winning the AEW World Tag Team titles. So very, very cool.
Yeah, they won it literally the night before. Yeah. And we were in the middle of the pandemic, and we did the podcast from Devin Walker's living room.
Oh, I remember this. We were masked up. Oh, my God. I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh, gosh.
But we're getting you ready for AEW Collision this Saturday, October 21st at FedExForum. You can get those tickets at AEWTix.com. But first, before we do the interviews, we got to talk about the best wrestling that we watched all week and get caught up just a little bit. E-Rock, you are up first. Best wrestling that you watched all week.
It's not necessarily wrestling, but it definitely has wrestling crossover because it involves Logan Paul.
Oh, okay.
Paul, right? And so Logan Paul, if anybody been following this past weekend, he had a boxing match. Logan Paul, he is a boxer, right? He's boxed for a long time. He had a boxing match against a jiu-jitsu specialist, a guy who does not throw hands at all, named Dylan Dennis. But the fight was what it was, right? It was a one-sided. Logan Paul threw a bunch of jabs, never hit Dylan Dennis, but wanted actually disqualification. Dylan Dennis trolled Logan Paul for months, so bad that Dylan Dennis's Logan Paul's fiance filed a lawsuit against Dylan Dennis because the trolling had got so bad. Because I don't know if everybody's up to speed on this, but Logan Paul is engaged to a former supermodel that has literally dated every mega celebrity out there. I was
going to say,
and Dylan Dennis just posted pictures of, and he's like, dude, you need to. It's like I don't want to even get into it. So bad, but
yeah,
if you guys,
there was a lot of girlfriend fiance talk that was just really outlandish. I do know that.
But here's the kind of the thing that I said, right? Is like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they made their bones trolling people, and it's just funny to me that when he got it back and he got it back hard, a lawsuit went flying. And I was like, come on, man. Well, I guess it's a little weak on my part, especially if you're going to fight at the end of the day. Throw a lawsuit out because of like whatever. But hey, that's the victimhood mentality we live in these days, I guess. I don't know.
And there's a big wrestling element to that because the post-match promo, Logan Paul
Rey Mysterio
calling out Rey Mysterio and calling him out for the United States Championship. I love it. This is what separates the WWE from anything else in the world, no matter what. Logan Paul, after a fight, calling out Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, that was random, bro. Rey Mysterio's probably at home like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What did I do? Like, why'd you call me out?
Yeah, really good stuff.
Hey, Devin, you're a social media guy, though. Did you follow all that Dylan Dennis trolling of Jake Paul?
He was definitely out of pocket for sure.
Yeah, he was definitely. Eric's best wrestling is Logan Paul. Not really a lot of wrestling, but the Rey Mysterio tie and then Logan just being fantastic in WWE. And I think that heel heat is going to transition over to his WWE stuff. All right, Devin, best wrestling that you watched all week.
Okay, the 12-year-old in me can tell you the best wrestling I saw all week was Samantha Irvin's latest Instagram post.
Oh,
if you haven't seen it.
Well, hold on. Which one is? I've seen a lot. I'm a big fan of her voice, but she's very attractive as well. So which one are you talking about here?
Oh, she posted something on IG yesterday. I'm gonna show you this shit.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna show us. All right.
Yeah, Samantha Irvin.
I don't need to be looking this stuff up on my phone, Devin, because I'll get in some trouble, as you know.
Oh, it's not porn, my guy. What is wrong with you? And you say, look, I follow her because she has a great voice. That could be your excuse.
Hey, tell my Maria.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You need to tell your Maria to get some thicker skin then, Dustin. Don't have Devin do your dirty work.
No,
hey, I know how to pass the heat, brother.
Yeah, I ain't trying to pass. Don't pass the heat,
I'm on her Instagram page. Which one?
Let me see this.
Her latest post. So she has 3 pinned at the top.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
No, I can see that.
Blurry. But
yeah,
y'all go look at that. In the 12-year-old,
it's classy. You're not going to get in trouble for this, Dustin.
Okay, actually, all right. Let me look it up.
Boy.
But the 12-year-old,
Maria's going to say, "Don't you tell me what to get him in trouble for."
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't like it.
Make sure you don't like it. The 12-year-old in me can say, "Yeah, that's the best wrestling I saw all week." Samantha Irvin and Rhea Ripley in a photo together on IG.
Yes.
Well,
here, since my camera is not the drizzling shits, I'll show everybody. That's what you're talking about right there.
And then, then you swipe it.
Mommy.
With the other hand. You got 2 hands. Swipe.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're right.
Swipe,
I do.
Swipe.
Okay.
Swipe.
Okay.
Swipe. Oh.
No, that's it.
Whoa.
Keep going. Bro, why are your fingers so like the other way, bro? What is wrong with you? It's the last photo. So the last photo is the opposite of the first one. So yeah.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah. There you go. Mommy.
That's my favorite wrestling of the week. But the actual adult in me, I guess I have to be an adult, says the best wrestling I saw all week was Friday Night Smackdown. It was a season premiere Smackdown. They had all the stars were in the building. I think for me, like, and y'all talk about production, y'all talk about like setting up storylines, y'all talk about setting the stage, right? Those last 2 minutes of SmackDown are gonna set the stage for the next couple months because you had the face off, right? You had Roman come back, you had Roman come out, and he faced off with Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso. LA Knight, yeah. And it's the face off of that, all that that sets up so much.
Hold on, I'm going to take a very important phone call with some information. So you know who it is. It's Zach.
Oh,
you guys can talk.
Wow, yeah. I think that just sets up, bro. It's setting up WWE for a while because those are the biggest kind of like names in WWE right now. You're putting them all together, right? In some kind of way, and I love every bit of it. While I'm here, I got to rewind for a second because I did not bring this up to you, 5-star, because I just saw it. And Eric, I need Eric to hear this too. Bro, a dude got hit by a car on your program?
Well, allegedly, you have to stay tuned to see if Flex was able to get out of the way or was he hit by a truck. You never know what's going to happen on Memphis Wrestling, Devin.
Yo, I saw that and I was like, yo, are we in the 1980s of Memphis Wrestling again?
It is absolutely nuts. But stay tuned because the story is going to keep developing and it's going to turn into something very, very cool. So I'm glad you brought that up. Best wrestling that I watched all week got to be Ricochet. I would say something to AEW because we're going to talk a lot about them today. But Ricochet off the balcony into the sea of people along with his opponent, which was Shinsuke Nakamura, which this match was crazy. They were all over the place. I guess I just didn't realize that this feud has heated up so much to where they had a match like this. But you talk about excitement on Monday Night Raw. Ricochet
is must see.
He's my gosh.
Shooting star press off the ledge is OD, bro. No crash.
And then we had Ricochet from his indie days was my best wrestling last week.
Yes, and then this week he does it again, Monday Night Raw. I mean, he was so fantastic. He did a backflip off the video board. He did some sort of flip roll off of the referee's back during a fight in the gorilla position backstage. And then, of course, he hit the big shooting star off the balcony. It was absolutely nuts. Hands down, best wrestling that I watched all week was Ricochet. But up next, I'm going to talk to Brandon Cutler, and we're going to see what his best wrestling of the week is. Check it out. Brandon, welcome to Grind City Wrestling, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. Everybody can follow Brandon on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Brand Cutler. Dude, that is some beard you got there, brother.
Oh, yeah. Look at this thing. This is 2 years of growing this out now.
2 years. I don't know if you know this or not, but I followed your work with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood.
Ah, yeah.
Syndicated that show here in Memphis. So we worked with David Marquez for a long time, syndicated that program. And you were there. You looked a little bit different, had a little bit of a different gimmick, but
right.
Man, and look at you now.
That was even before I came up with the whole dragon gimmick either. That was when I was kind of trying to find myself there. That was like 2018.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would see little bits and pieces of the dragon gimmick, and you always had the coolest gear and stuff. Right. But then when you went on to AEW, then you had the dice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I developed it more. Like I used to have dice on the side of running down the side of my leg on my tights and stuff. So I always kind of knew I wanted to do something like hints of D&D and stuff. And then it was my wife makes the Young Bucks gear as well. So she was always busy making the Young Bucks gear. And at that time, SCU's gear. And so she never had time to kind of get to my stuff. And then she finally was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do it. I've had this jacket in mind that I want to make, and I'm going to sit down and make it. And that was in AEW when she finally made it. And that's that jacket that I'm kind of known for having with the dragon gimmick, the large chromatic dragon jacket.
I'm glad you brought that up. Talking to Brandon Cutler here because I follow you guys. I see that she makes the gear and all that good stuff. And your gear with the dragon gimmick is so freaking good. The dice and everything was so good. Does it kill you that like the gimmick that you're doing now, the more fun, over the top character, almost like a young boy type of thing or whatever? Does it kill you that gimmick is what you're using and it's like do people love instead of the cool one?
Right, exactly.
I don't mean that's not cool. I just mean the gear is so awesome. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree completely with the gear. I'm split in half completely on that because I love this. I love the bright, happy, fun colors and stuff. That's a side of me that I've always enjoyed. Bright colors, as you see the mural behind me that my wife painted. I'm in my garage gym, and I told her the same. I was like, I just want bright, happy, fun colors. So and like just a crazy, wacky design. So that's always been a side of my personality. But the other side of it is like the nerdy, cool, like, you know, you play those Dungeons and Dragons games or like even the video games of stuff like Dragon Age and Elder Scrolls and things. And there's always such really cool looking characters that it's like, man, I'd want to like, you know, look like them. So that's what that dragon gimmick was kind of trying to bring that out into wrestling. Like, what would a wrestler look like, you know, from that era of like, you know, the medieval. And so that looks so badass that I do miss that. And I wish I could kind of somehow be able to do both, like a Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, Dude Love kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, you went from Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. I guess you were working with the Bucks then when you were being the elite and you're still doing that. Now, did you ever think that the YouTube show would get so popular? First of all, it was super popular, but then also to kind of springboard into doing something else and making more money in the wrestling business.
Right. Yeah. I never thought it would grow that big. I knew they were doing something cool and unique because I would watch it and it got me back into wrestling in 2018. Like I was out of wrestling in 2011 is when I stopped wrestling. I took a break. And then in 2018,
Wow.
when it was like red hot with the Bullet Club and being the elite, it was so fun. It made me want to get back into it. So it was definitely like there was some charm to it in that era that a lot of people were fans of it. Like they had shirts in Hot Topic, they were getting Funko Pops, like they were pop culture at that time doing it. It was a huge, liftoff. And then it became its own company, which now can, travel the world and have 3 shows on live TV every week. It's insane, but we never knew it would get that big.
Talking to Brandon Cutler from AEW. AEW Collision is live at FedExForum this Saturday, October 21st. Also, you're coming to Memphis next Sunday, October 29th,
Right.
with Prince Nana to do Memphis Wrestling. I'll talk to you about that in just a second. But
Got
they used to
couple of weeks.
Man, yeah, they used to call you 2-contract Cutler.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So what are your roles and responsibilities now? Because I know you do a lot more than just wrestle.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the contracts is as talent, and then the other contract is the official title is, I believe, executive producer of content, and it's just the fancy wording of says he films and edits BTE and uploads it and does all that stuff. Yeah. So that's been like kind of just whatever BTE needs, I'm there to do it. If we got to film a bit, or if we need like some props for it or something, or editing it, or now as far this last week I started going through all the past episodes and adding chapters to it, so it's a lot easier to go through some of our longer episodes of like those 20 to 40-minute episodes and find like the specific bits you were looking for. Yeah, so that's my new task that I'm going back and doing.
Very, very cool. I saw the internet community going kind of crazy, like there's not a new episode this week, what is going on? And they
Right.
always overreact. Did you get a little bit of that?
Oh yeah, usually every week it's that. I'm just like, why isn't there an episode? What's going on? Because it's been such a staple in wrestling of every Monday there's been a BT episode, which to the credit of Matt and Nick, they made it like that, like reliable that you're going to get it every week. To the point that was actually mentioned when AEW was getting a TV show, that some of the TNT execs said, hey, well, we know you guys can do weekly TV because you're pumping out BTE every week. And it was like,
perfect.
Hey, execs that know about BTE, and they're like, hey, you can handle responsibility of weekly creative. So
how
that's
many
a big
hours?
Feather in their cap.
How many hours a week do you spend on that? Because I do the YouTube stuff for Memphis Wrestling. I have to clip footage. We have to put together pre-tapes and stuff. I can only imagine how many hours do you put into a week?
It's time consuming. Depending, there are some easier weeks, but it still is like 3 to 5 hours on those easier weeks. It's just those kind of fly by because it's fun. I'm editing a clip with my buddies and we're saying ridiculous stuff. So like I'll be watching it again and again, editing or like adding a piece to it or something, or like cropping like a nude piece in it or something. If Kip's wearing a belt and like we want to blur it or something. Right. So it goes by fast on those quick ones. Longer ones, like I just had a week where I was telling Matt and Nick that I was like, I have over 4 hours of content we filmed this week, and it got chopped down to 40 minutes of an episode.
Wow.
And so you can only imagine I had to watch all 4 hours of that content of like, hey, I filmed it all. So then, filming it, and then that's 4 hours, then watching it again to go back and be like, I don't remember anything. It's, it's been a few days since I filmed that.
Yeah,
so
you watch it over and over.
On top of over and over. So it's like some episodes are like 12 hours it takes to edit.
Well, we really appreciate it, especially me, because I'm a big fan of being the elite. When you guys were here just before the pandemic at Lander Center, which is not Memphis, Tennessee, but it's literally right next door. We had a big party down the street, a pre-party, and we were all chanting elite, elite, be the elite, and sent it over to you guys, and you guys put it into the show. So big shout out to being the elite. Yes.
That's great. Yeah. That's a charm that the show always had, is interacting with fans and stuff. So I've been doing that a lot with Colt in between shows. Sometimes when you go to our tapings, we'll have a live Dynamite, but then we record Rampage. And so as they're changing over into Rampage, we'll usually, me and Colt have been hitting up the concourses and walking around and doing a little like interview with the people. And we could tell like they really love that because they want to see us like interact with them. And that was a charm that BTE had of, like they raided Raw one time in Ontario and went to the Ontario Mills as a Hot Topic and stuff. And that's like the cool stuff that the fans appreciate of like, oh man, they're going to just be there. Oh, all right, I'll go.
Yep. Talking to Brandon Cutler here from AEW. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about Memphis and history and all that kind of stuff. But first, there's something that we do on the podcast. The guys are going to kill me if I don't ask you. We always give our best wrestling of the week. It could be anything. It could be AEW, BTE, WWE, NXT. It could be anything you want. It could be something that you saw on Twitter from 20 years ago. What is the best wrestling that Brandon Cutler watched all week?
I've been watching GLEAT wrestling, or maybe it's pronounced GREAT wrestling from Japan. It's with SEMA and a lot of the folks out there that I've been watching just their shows. They've done some past live streams and stuff. So I just watched their entire show. I don't know a lot of the guys' names because I've watched maybe 2 or 3 of them. So I haven't learned everyone, like, so I can't say a specific match, but their shows are just great. Like, I've been hooked on watching a show from front to back. Like, it's been a while since I've done that. Usually I will just watch matches, or like if I'm at our shows, I'll see like when in between filming bits, I'll like, oh, like that match was cool. Like I'll sit and watch for a sec. But I don't see entire shows anymore. So I've been doing that on GLEAT, and it's incredible. They got some cool matches going on there.
Man, it's tough to watch whole shows when you're spending 4, 8, 12 hours on BTE every single week too.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So Memphis, everybody that I talk to, there's some sort of history. They grew up, trading tapes or catching up with Memphis wrestling. Is there any significance to Memphis for Brandon Cutler as a wrestling fan, or growing up, or now?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of never got to do the globe trotting that a lot of the guys got to do before AEW was a thing. Like I came back in 2018 and AEW became a thing in 2019. So I was just, like you said, in championship wrestling, I was just starting to get like my groove of like, all right, I want to start hitting like all the notable places and like, check off a lot of the indies that I've always like watched and never got to wrestle at. And then AEW happened and it was like just thrust into that. And so I was like, all right, well, I guess you could say I skipped that, but I'm like, but that's like an integral part, I feel, in a wrestler's journey of going to all those places and experiencing that. So that's kind of when I put out a little like a tweet earlier this year saying like, all right, I want to take some bookings, because it was that of, I'm like, I feel like I never got to complete that journey of like, I want to go back and do a lot of those things I feel like I missed out on. And like, you know what I mean? It feels like if you're leveling up a character, you went from like level 2 to 10, and it's like, well, no, I want to go back and get those other levels. I don't want to just jump. Like, yeah.
Congratulations, Brandon. You skipped all the stuff that a lot of us have to do, man. That is good. Congratulations on that.
Right. Well, thank you. But I do want to experience that stuff, because like I said, I feel like you're not a full rounded wrestler until you've done that journey. You've globetrotted.
All right, wrapping things up here with Brandon Cutler. I appreciate you for joining me here. AEW Collision this Saturday, October 21st, one day before my birthday. Collision premiering at FedExForum. It's going to be awesome.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Me and the family and the Memphis Wrestling crew are going to go out, and we're going to have a really good time this weekend. And then you're not going to have to skip the Memphis Wrestling independent scene for very much longer. Because next Sunday, you mentioned that you put out a tweet or something about bookings. Next Sunday, you're coming to Memphis Wrestling, October 29th. I saw this on social media and was like, oh, hell no. We got to get Brandon Cutler here. And
I appreciate that. I'm so excited to do it.
You sent me the things, and this is one of the reasons I brought up the dragon, is the dragon gimmick looked so good. I saw the 8x10, and then you had the other one. Which character do you want? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Of course we've got to have the crazy character, though,
There you go. Of course. Yeah. The one that's standing out. But yeah, I'm trying to give that option to everybody too. Cause again, with this beard, I've yet to wear the dragon stuff with this beard yet. I feel like they'd go kind of good together. But look at how bright this is. Everyone's going to love this when they see this in person too.
So everybody's asking me. So like when I told them that on October 29th, Memphis Wrestling goes all elite, Brandon Cutler's coming, Prince Nana is coming. And the first thing they do, when I tell them, what I tell them is they laugh. They have a smile on their face. And it's not like a slight or anything. It's fun. You guys are having so much fun. Prince Nana is viral right now, dancing.
Yeah,
you and KoKo killing it, doing that stuff.
Yeah.
What could the people expect to see you guys here in Memphis on a smaller setting than a Collision or a Dynamite? Anything different?
You got two of the most fun manager side character type people AEW has to offer, and it's gonna just be us now without our our higher ups. It's just gonna be us able to run loose and do whatever we want. Like, it's gonna be a riot.
That's right. When the cats are away, the mice will play. You guys are going to have a lot of fun coming up. And then this weekend as well. So, Brandon, I really appreciate you for joining me here on Grind City Wrestling. Is there anything else you want to tell Memphis before we let you go?
Look forward to coming out there and giving you guys a great time.
Yeah, get those tickets right now, memphiswrestling.tv. If you use the code word ELITE, you will save $5 off the tickets. Check this out, Brandon. Your admission is $10. If you save $5, you can get in and meet Brandon Cutler for $5.
There you go. Come on. I'll have my break hands and everything.
Any better than that. Brandon, I really appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to Grind City Wrestling. Always fun catching up with Brandon Cutler. Did you guys know that Brandon Cutler was on the Memphis show before it was, quote, Memphis Wrestling?
No.
He was doing the dragon gimmick, this nerd dragon gimmick type of thing with the dice.
Oh,
he was even doing that even before he did it in AEW, and then now I love the stuff that he's doing now. But anyways, coming up in just a bit, we're going to talk to Dax Harwood from FTR. AEW Collision is this Saturday, October 21st at FedExForum. And right now, I'm going to take just a moment to see what can you expect at AEW Collision, because we've been to Raw. We've been to Smackdown at FedExForum. It's always a good time. What can we expect that's going to be possibly different or just as entertaining as a WWE live event?
High spot.
Give me high spots, bro.
I love it though. Like, I know it's just cake, icing on the cake and not a lot of substance. So the argument is it's still entertaining as hell. I ain't no purist that much where I'm going to just shit on that. Hey, give the fans what they want. That's what they do.
It's going to be exciting.
I think as far as the visual go, it's going to look a little bit different, I think, as far as WWE goes. So I'm excited to see what it looks like visually. But yeah, I think in the ring, bro, it'll be electrifying for sure.
Battle of the Belts are coming up. They made this announcement, I think, earlier in the week that not only do we get AEW Collision for the first time ever at FedExForum, but now it's Battle of the Belts. And I think that the Acclaimed are going to be defending the World Trios Championship. So you know what that means?
Hey, that's what we should have had on the show. That's what we should have had on the show. The freaking Acclaim.
Oh man,
I'd like them to drop a diss track on Dustin.
Yeah, I need a.
Why me?
Yo, check it out. Your hair's so ridiculous. Like, so I don't know.
Oh god, no, that's the thing too. Like, I'm excited to see like what reference do they make to Memphis in the rap, right? Like, what do you bring up?
You think he'll come out since they're AEW and he'll bury Jerry Lawler in the rap?
No, absolutely not, because Dave Brown's going to be in the house. I talked to Nigel McGuinness last week. Not only is AEW Collision here on Saturday, but on Sunday, Nigel has his magic show. Nigel talked about Dave Brown, said that he would be on the program. I'm interested to see how they introduce Dave, because he will get a big pop in Memphis.
Here's my question about Dave Brown. Are they going to have him on the televised broadcast?
Now, Nigel says that they will, but he's not sure if it's the whole thing, a match, a segment, or what, but he is supposed to appear on AEW Collision. And also another Memphis legend, if you will, is Jeff Jarrett. So Jeff Jarrett's going to be in town on Friday. Jeff will be in town all day. He's doing media on Friday. Of course, he'll be at FedExForum on Saturday. And we've got a special interview scheduled that's going to drop right here on Grind City Media as well with Jeff Jarrett.
And this is how much Jeff Jarrett is within the family. We were his first returning match and public appearance after he went through a lot of personal stuff. He came back to Grind City Wrestling first. Then, right after that, he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And so, like, we'll bring that up.
To Jerry, man. I got some stuff to Jerry. I got to ask him about the Taylor Swift interaction.
Oh.
Do you know about this? Did you know that Taylor Swift used to babysit his kids?
Yeah, no, I heard some sort of story about that. That's definitely something that we should talk to Jeff about.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was his favorite chair? Not sure.
His favorite guitar song of all time.
And why was it Beetlejuice?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Very, very viral. Anyway, we'll talk to Jeff.
I gotta say, there's nothing that probably feels better than hitting somebody with a guitar, by the way.
I do have a quick funny Jeff story where he
Well,
refused to
I
hit
have
me
a
in the
few
head with the
things that feel
guitar.
better than hitting somebody with a guitar, but hey, you do you, Devin.
Well, he did refuse one time to hit me in the head with a guitar because he didn't want to bust my grill all up right in here, you know. So he literally said, "No, I'm not going to do that to Dustin. Who else are we going to hit with this guitar?" And I was like, "Thank God." Anyways, AEW superstars will be arriving on Friday and Saturday.
SAWFT. So
Most
Damn.
definitely. So keep your eyes peeled because you might see some of these AEW superstars around, especially downtown. Is there anything that you're looking forward to the most? Like, are you looking forward to seeing Edge or Christian? Or is there anything that's like, hell yes, AEW Collision's coming. I want to see this.
Here's I'm interested in seeing. I'm interested in seeing what the fan reaction. We have been a stronghold, local, regional wrestling city, and Team WWE for so long that I'm anxious to see if there's marketplace for a quote unquote third promotion. You know what I mean? Coming in and running the territory. So that's going to be interesting to see. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Devin?
of course we'll have the core wrestling fans there because they love wrestling, right? But I want to see how many casuals they get to come out because they see it's a new wrestling show, right? Because we talk about all the time. There's our market, like you said, Erod, our market sells well with wrestling. Our market does well with like legacy shows, the gospel shows. They do well, and wrestling always on that list. So I want to see how does AEW draw when it comes to that kind of thing, right? I want to see that. And, I mean, of course, I want to see we're gonna get like the what are my boys, the Lucha Bros. I've always wanted to see them in person.
Yeah.
The Acclaim will be there, so I'll get to see them in person. There's a couple. I mean, the Edge and Christian thing that'll be cool, but like, and of course, bro. Of course, I want to get my merch. I want to see what their merch stand looks like.
What are you getting?
What
are you getting? You're getting three. You're getting three shirts, right?
We're gonna see, man. I gotta figure out like what the tees look like, because when I went to the TNA show, I did not expect to get a Trinity shirt until I got there, right?
Right.
Until I saw the shirt, how good it looked. I was like, I gotta have the Trinity shirt. So we'll see what the merch looks like. I'll have it next week on next week's show.
Memphis Wrestling will be there. I know a ton of fans will be there. I am personally looking forward to seeing the real life version of AEW Collision versus the X or Twitter version of AEW, because every time I open Twitter, they're hating on AEW for something about fans or fan count or the way the building's set up.
I have to take exception with that because I see the same thing with the fan attendance and all this. And like, yeah of course it's down from WWE. Of course it's down.
Even WWE.
Even WWE sets the cameras away from the hard camera, right? So they don't set cameras. And so a lot of these pictures and people are like, they're not drawing this, that, and the other. And that may be true, but not from the pictures we're seeing because they're always facing the hard. They're always taking a picture of the hard camera side.
You have the one picture that looks like it's empty, and then you have somebody saying, dude, I was there. Look at this picture, and it's full. So for me, I just want to see what's true. I mean, is it going to draw? Is it not going to draw?
Well, of course they're going to. Of course they're going to fill it away from hard camera. Guess what? WWE comes to this office in the Memphis and seats where we need it. It's just what the industry does.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's what I want to see. Perfect segue here. Dax Harwood. Let's see what he thinks is different about an AEW live event and a WWE live event, because who would know better than the former WWE Tag Team Champion and former AEW Tag Team Champion. Dax Harwood is coming up next. And joining me now is one of the best tag team wrestlers in the entire world. It's Dax Harwood from FTR. What is going on, man?
Not too much, Dustin. Just getting ready to do father stuff. In between father stuff, I've been hitting up some media outlets. So putting on the Dax hat and the dad hat.
I totally understand. I have a 3-year-old. He's about to turn 3, running around telling him to be quiet while we're doing this. And also have a 15-year-old. What am I doing, bro?
Oh my gosh, man. That's so much time in between.
I know.
My daughter's begging for another kid, and I'm like, babe, it's not that easy. I wish it was.
Right, especially as busy as you guys stay at this point. Last time we talked here on the Grind City Wrestling Podcast, I don't know if you guys remember it, but you had just won the AEW Tag Team titles for the first time. Me and the boys were you guys' first interview after winning the championship. It was during the pandemic, and we were in one of our buddies, instead of the studio, we were in one of our buddies' homes with masks on. That's the only way they would allow us to do the podcast. A lot has changed since your guys' first run in the pandemic.
My God, man, I absolutely do not remember that. But the pandemic, man, it seems like a lifetime ago and just a few months ago. It's crazy.
It is, especially when you're talking about kids and family and working and doing all that stuff. For me, all the live stuff went away. You guys were still able to perform and compete. And now I believe you're two-time AEW Tag Team Champions?
Yes, sir. Just a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, two-time World Tag Team Champions, AEW World Tag Team Champions. But let's not forget 10-time overall, which I've...
brother, I was just about to hit you with, are you guys the greatest tag team ever? And the reason I ask, and I don't want you, let me do the bragging for you, I guess. NXT Tag Team Champions, Raw Tag Team Champions, Smackdown Tag Team Champions, AEW Tag Team Champions, AAA Tag Team Champions, Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, IWGP Tag Team Champions. Oh my goodness, this is like Dudley Boys Steiner type of stuff right here. Has anybody ever done that?
Well, I mean, if you're asking me statistically, no. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much. I've been known to do that, but no. No one's ever done that. Two-time NXT Tag Team Champion, two-time Raw Tag Team Champion, SmackDown, IWGP, AAA, Ring of Honor, and I think our most prestigious run, the AEW, and I'm not saying that because we're here now, but this most recent run with the AEW World Tag Team Championship, I think really cemented our legacy in professional wrestling history. I'm very, very proud of it, man.
Talking to Dax Harwood, half of FTR, what I think is one of the best tag teams in the entire world right now. People are always speculating about you guys. Anytime I get on Twitter or X and I scroll through, you can send a simple tweet like top guys out, and people are like, wait, where's FTR going? What's going on? So I know that when you guys did lose the tag team titles, there were a lot of speculation, a lot of people asking questions. And then you guys were back in the news again. I guess you filed a trademark for CMFTR or something like that. Do you guys love hearing people talk about you constantly and guess? Because I know a lot of times the fans are wrong, but you can't just put it out there. Like you get them guessing. Is that what this thing is all about?
Well, I mean, the CMFTR thing, like I went to, it was kind of late at night, and I texted my lawyer, Michael Dawkins, and I said, hey, man, nobody has CMFTR trademarked. I said, let's just go ahead and get it. I couldn't get up with Cash or Punk. I couldn't get a response from either one of them. So I said, let's go ahead and get the trademark, and we can put their names on it. But I'll go ahead and pay for it and all this stuff. I went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and it was all the news. I couldn't believe it. It's just nobody had the trademark. I didn't want someone else to be able to make merchandise off of our likeness and our name. So I got that. And then just recently we did the same thing with RatedFTR. Not that that's going to happen, but if the potential of that happens, I would like to be able to have ownership of that name as well. Because, this is not disparaging WWE, and I'm not bitter, but Revival, No Flips, Just Fish, Shatter Machine, Top Guys, all the stuff that you heard from the Revival, myself and Cash came up with every single thing. And then, we trademarked all of them except for Revival. They did that. And then, I've talked about it before, but to be able to get out of our contracts early, we had to sign over the rights to those trademarks. But, that's the reason I wanted to trademark those names, because I wanted to be a sole owner of them, and not just me, but my partners as well. And we could use them for whatever we wanted to, if the opportunity arises. But yes, I love being in the news, and I've realized that a lot of fans nowadays in 2023, they do not like being worked as much as they want to pretend like they do. They don't like it. It makes them mad.
They love you, man. They love you. I swear to God, every time I open something up, there's another speculation of, is FTR leaving? No, we just signed new contracts. It's just always something, it seems like. And I know you're a wrestling historian and a wrestling buff. I've heard you spout off dates on matches and stuff just off the top of your head. So I have to ask you about the history of Memphis Wrestling. AEW Collision is live here at FedExForum for the first time ever in Memphis. It's going to be awesome. You can get those tickets at AEWTix.com. But is there any significance for you as a wrestling fan or as a performer coming and being able to perform in Memphis?
Absolutely. And I wouldn't say I'm as much of a historian buff as I am just a wrestling nerd. I absolutely love wrestling. I'm enamored with wrestling. I love Memphis wrestling. On my on my iPad now, I have on my hard drive, it's the equivalent to 32 discs of Memphis wrestling, the greatest Memphis wrestling. And of course, it means a lot to me because Memphis is where the Fabulous One started as far as tag team wrestling. The Midnight Express started there in Memphis as well. A Rock and Roll Express came along too, and before they went to their big fame in Mid-South Wrestling with Bill Watts. So there's a lot of lineage here. And Bobby Eaton and KoKo Ware, what a great tag team they were as well. And that goes beyond. It goes without saying, Jerry the King Lawler, who made Memphis, what an incredible performer he is. He is one of my favorites. Some of the great matches he had with Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA the AWA World title. One that was so intriguing to me is it was a $500 for every punch that
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because Bockwinkel said all the punches are illegal. That's not wrestling. So every punch that Lawler threw, he owed Bockwinkel $500, which I think is just brilliant.
Awesome. Very good stuff. I mean, Lawler could talk you in the building without even getting fired up. He was like a normal guy and then could throw punches like nobody's business. Him and the Superstar, to me, had the best punches in the history of the business. So who's your favorite wrestler? And also, who's your favorite tag team wrestler? Because I know I've heard you talking about singles runs in the past. So I feel like that there's an itch there at some point where you might make that singles run or something. But do you have a favorite tag team and a favorite singles wrestler?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. I have a 6-foot stand up right now of my favorite wrestler from 1995. It's I'm in my bar and we're in the middle of remodeling. So it's laying here on the floor. But my favorite wrestler of all time, no questions asked. No one comes close as Bret Hitman Hart. Actually, just text with him yesterday. The greatest storyteller in the world that I've ever seen. I mean, I think I've said it before, but June 13th or 23rd, I always get them mixed up, but I got that pay-per-view for my birthday from my mom and my dad. And I watched Bret Hart wrestle 3 incredible matches. And at the end of that, he made me feel a certain way that night that no other entertainer, musician, actor has ever made me feel. And that was the night that I wanted to be a professional wrestler. So Bret Hart, in my opinion, the greatest of all time, greatest tag team of all time is the Midnight Express. Again, no one comes close. Dennis Condrey and me, we talk every single week through text. He always watches my matches. He gives me feedback and advice and what could have been done better. And if you ask him who the greatest tag team of all time is, he'll say myself and Cash. We've gotten a few playful arguments, but I think Dennis Condrey is the most underrated wrestler of all time. I also think he's the greatest tag team wrestler of all time because along with Bobby Eaton, which we all know, and Norvell Austin, Randy Rhodes, but also Phil Hickerson right there in Memphis. They had a great tag team, the Bicentennial Kings. Two incredible workers, those two were. But yeah, I think Dennis Condrey is the most underrated of all time.
I could talk to you about wrestling literally all day, Dak, but I shouldn't do it because I know you got other stuff to do.
We got plenty of time.
Man, I will tell you that when Cash defended Bret at the Hall of Fame, I'm not going to say that I wasn't Allegedly. I was fans of you guys, but it's like flavors of ice cream. Like I grew up an Ultimate Warrior fan and all this stuff.
Right.
But when Cash defended or stuck up for, however you want to say it, when you guys took up for Bret the Hitman Hart, it was over at that point. You guys, yes, I absolutely loved it. Bobby Eaton was one of my favorite guys in the whole world too, man.
It's so funny about the Bret Hart thing. Like I said, I'm a huge Bret fan. Cash will also tell you he's a big Bret fan. He also thinks Bret's the greatest, but he will also tell you that he doesn't hold a candle to me as far as marking out over Bret. But as soon as that happened, I jumped up and my wife was holding on to me, begging me not to go, but I got away from her. And me and Cash crossed paths. I went straight to Bret and embraced him. He went straight to the guy. It was very funny. But
that is awesome.
But yeah, Bobby Eaton, like you said, Bobby Eaton, towards the end of his life, his wife became friends with me on Facebook, and she would send me messages from Bobby. So the messages would be Bobby, and she would type them out, telling me, what he thought of my work, of our matches, and how much of a fan he was. I've got those completely saved. I'll never get rid of them. Bobby Eaton, man, nobody will ever be like him.
So for all the fans out there, so Bobby Eaton's wife was Bill Dundee's daughter, right? And so that's a whole wrestling lineage there. And then once Bobby passed away, I believe his wife passed away, or was it vice versa? Which was like a very sad love story because, losing a spouse and then going right behind them and all that stuff. Anyway, I got goosebumps talking about it because all these people have been friends of mine for so long, especially Bobby Eaton, Bill Dundee, and all that stuff. But there's a big show coming up, AEW Collision, this Saturday, FedExForum for the first time ever. Me and the boys have been talking on this podcast. What is different about AEW Live than any other live professional wrestling event?
Yeah, I think AEW, especially the live event presentation, is for the fan. Obviously, it is a television show, and we are filming for television, but it's not like the other guys where everything is focused and driven just for that television audience. I think we give something to the live event audience too. I think we give them their money's worth when it comes to match quality, match times, and the entertainment aspect they're going to see, and also, the star quality. I mean, you come out to Collision, we've got Adam Copeland there, rated R superstar Adam Copeland. You got Christian, one's already a Hall of Famer, another one is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Brian Danielson, considered the greatest wrestler of all time as far as in-ring work goes. Brian Danielson will be there, and you got this little tag team FTR, the greatest tag team of all time. And we're also, Collision is a bit different from Dynamite too, and I think the Memphis fans will appreciate the presentation that the Collision athletes and the Collision show presents. It's more of a in-your-face, a hard-hitting, wrestling-oriented show where we go back to basics on Collision. I mean, it's still for the modern fan as well. That's what's obviously in the mind, because we've got to sell it to that modern fan. But I think that also the most jaded old school fans will find something they love in Collision, especially from that Memphis era, because Memphis, like you said, the punches are one of the things that Memphis wrestling is known for. And I think Smash Mouth style wrestling is Collision. And then, on top of that, we're also building up big stars. We're trying to build up new stars, like Ricky Starks, Big Bill, who have both stepped up huge just in the last few weeks, few months for Ricky Starks. We've also highlighted guys like Willie Mack, who I think has got a huge future ahead of him because he's one charismatic dude, also very, very, very athletic. He's got something that nobody can define, and that's rare. On the other side of that, we've got Samoa Joe, one of the greatest of all time, huge name, but also one of the best fighters in the whole world too. So I think Collision, man, as much as I love AEW Dynamite, I think Collision will cater towards that old school Memphis style wrestling fan, but also the kids can love it too, because they get to see their big TV stars and and some new school fans as well.
If we weren't fired up for it before, we definitely are fired up for it now. That was a lot of information coming up this Saturday, FedExForum, first time ever. You competed in Memphis before, right? I
have competed in Memphis before. Memphis is one of my favorite towns, man.
Very cool. Well, we look forward to seeing you coming up on Saturday. Again, you can get your tickets at AEWTix.com. Is there any last message you want to send out to the wrestling fans in Memphis, Tennessee, and the surrounding area?
I hope I can make the Memphis fans proud. I don't want to speak for Cash. I'll speak for myself, but I hope, because those Memphis fans have been diehard wrestling fans for decades, and it's the type of wrestling that I love, the type of wrestling that I enjoy. I'm not the most graceful guy when it comes to in-ring athletics, but when worse comes to worse, I will throw a punch and I will throw a kick and I'll fight you. So I just hope to the Memphis fans that I can make you proud to be a wrestling fan. And I hope Saturday night you come out and support us. And I hope Saturday night I can extend an olive branch of new school modern wrestling to you Memphis fans.
We will be there and we cannot wait. Dax Harwood, FTR, thank you so much for joining me on Grind City Wrestling.
Thank you, Dustin.
Welcome back. Always good catching up with Dax Harwood. Of course, he had to get a little more of that Memphis karma.
I wish we would have asked him. Did I ask him last time when we interviewed him what it was like beating up the guy who screwed up Bret Hart's induction ceremony? Did I ever ask him that question?
I don't know. That's his partner, though. He didn't. It wasn't Dax.
Oh, it wasn't him. I thought it was him.
No, it was Cash. Cash. I actually, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't that big of an FTR fan. I love their work and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't like my flavor of ice cream. But then when Cash punched out the fan for attacking Bret, I was like, yes. And then we had him on the podcast, and I was like, yes, I love me some FTR. So anyways, all right. So
on that 100th episode, they were great guys. They were real. It wasn't just cutting promos the whole time. And obviously, he's great again.
Yep. Here's what's coming up for Memphis Wrestling this Friday and Saturday. You can watch the premiere of Memphis Wrestling on Action News 5+. Former OVW Women's Champion Shalance Royale returns to Memphis Wrestling to go one-on-one with the Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion Mackenzie Morgan. We've talked about OVW wrestlers. Have you guys been keeping up with it on Netflix? Have you finished the series at all?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Shalance is actually in that documentary.
She is, yeah. Yeah, she's in there. What'd you think of it? Because you finished it, right?
Well, I'm almost at the end of it. Maria kind of slowed down toward the end, but you could hear her commentary on every single bit of it. Anyway, maybe we should have her on the pod to talk about that.
Wait, what documentary?
Wrestlers.
Oh, yeah, I watched it all. I saw every episode.
What'd you think, Eve?
I think it's very accurate about the unrealistic nature of indie wrestlers, of what how a real business needs to be run. I think from that aspect, I've seen both sides of it. I'm an entertainer, but I'm also a business owner, so I see both sides where somebody's like, he can't tell me anything about wrestler. He's never been a wrestler. Guess what? He's a businessman. He can teach you about business. And you need to embrace it. And if these people would embrace all of it, gosh, where some things can go, but they don't.
Business part of it is not about creatives. Business part of it is about business. It has nothing to do with what's really going on inside the ring. Anyways,
but it does to a degree when he's like, we're going to this state fair and we need to bring in the people because we need to pit like a Louisville versus Kentucky rivalry to bring in those fan bases. And so it does because he knows the market. He might not know the wrestling, but he knows the market.
Business part of it, sure. Nobody cares who the champion is. Nobody cares about any of that stuff when it comes down to business. The Grizzlies, they would not give two shits who our champion is. They just want to know how many people are watching it and if it could help them sell tickets on a wrestling night. That's what I mean about the business and not necessarily creative. But anyways, this Saturday, we've told you a million times, AEW Collision. Tickets are still available. Get there. FedExForum is going to be awesome. Then next Saturday, October 28th, is Small Business Saturday at the YMCA in Whitehaven. Memphis Wrestling will be on hand with discounted tickets. You want to be there. Then, of course, next Sunday, the 29th, Memphis Wrestling goes all elite with Prince Nana and, of course, Brandon Cutler, who we talked to earlier. Get those tickets right now, memphiswrestling.tv. If you use the code ELITE, you'll save $5 per ticket. And then November 19th, Impact Wrestling stars Josh Alexander and Eric Young will be here in Memphis Wrestling. Tickets are on sale right now, memphiswrestling.tv. And a big shout out to Josh Alexander. Hopefully he will win the Impact Wrestling World Championship this weekend, and he'll bring it to Memphis in November. E-Rock, what's going on this weekend?
I'm going to try and make it to Collision, but, I got kids and ish, so we'll see.
You got kids.
And ish. And a wife who I don't even know if I'm in the doghouse at this point or if it's just...
The live events, though, Maria loves going to the live events. Like Impact, she had a blast. Raw, Smackdown, whatever. Anything where she can get dolled up and have her boobs out, she is there.
Wow. Wait,
did I say that?
Huh?
Did I say that?
He just laid it all out there. Yeah. This will be Hall. If we can go, it'll be Holland's second wrestling show. She's excited about it.
You can go.
Hey,
Devin.
We should do like a couple thing. I can peer pressure my wife into coming with all of us then.
It's a
Michael
trios
Maria's gonna be there with her boobs out. Devin's girl's gonna be there.
A trios date? Oh, we're not doing a trios date.
Trios date.
I was gonna say the F word. That's weird.
Devin, what's going on with you this weekend?
Saturday, like I said, I should be at AEW.
You are going to Collision.
I should be there. I'm trying to be there. You know what I'm saying? Cozy, chilling. You know what I'm saying? Get my merch. And then Friday we have our Grizzlies, our last preseason game. And then, bro, it's time. I know it's a weird thing that the season starts next week. Like this time next week, we'll be talking about the NBA season getting ready. So, bro, we're lit. We're here. It's time. AEW. I'm excited for it. Let's get this weekend. By the way, we've been doing this show for 30 minutes now, and I didn't get to bring up how shitty the wrestling was last week on Tiger Lane for Wrestling Night.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Go ahead, give us a full recap.
Yeah, come on, man, bury it.
I started out with Wildfire Tommy, whatever his name is. What's his name?
Wildfire Tommy Rich, man. These dudes
look like he's like 87 years old, can barely walk. He tag teamed with Dangerous Doug Gilbert, who was also super old. They wrestled against who the hell wrestled? Action Jackson and some dude in the Memphis Tigers jersey.
Who is totally covering up at this point, right? Not the same Action Jackson that you're used to seeing. And there is Wildfire Tommy Rich, 67-year-old wrestling.
He was in the ring. It was about a 10-minute match. Of course, how do you think they won? Doug Gilbert hits him with the bat, gets a roll up. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, boo, whatever, cool. So then the next match is a singles match. They do we talk about old school wrestling. They do the old school USA versus Russia. The Russian guy comes out, and then the bald headed dude comes out. What's his name? He was
Don't
called.
even matter.
His nickname was hilarious. I laughed at it. It was the patriotic something. That happened. Of course, USA guy wins. Whatever. Last match.
So wait a minute, hold on, back up. Doug and Tommy won that match?
Yeah, dude, that's what I think. They're heels, right? They're not supposed to win.
Dude, and they're like I just showed you that Tommy is 67 years old. He's pushing 70. Doug's pushing 60.
Man, well, if you got a problem with that, we need to jump all over Jeff Jarrett for taking a dive to Ric Flair.
Well, now hold on. We could talk about Jeff Jarrett into his face, because Jeff Jarrett is in better condition right now than he was as world champion in WCW.
No, but I'm saying he went down to Ric Flair.
I think we'd all go down to Ric Flair.
Pause, bro. But then the main event, the one that we're all waiting for, you DM'd me and asked me what the main event was. I was so excited about it, I forgot to message you back, 5-star. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were just enthralled with.
I was so excited about it. So
Phil,
they had Pyro come out, and the first guy that walks out is Jason Voorhees. Oh yeah. Jason Voorhees walks out. He's facing, wait for it, the Tiger.
Oh,
the Memphis Tiger. It was a guy in a tiger mask and tiger tights, accompanied by Jerry the King Lawler.
Can we talk about the goatee?
This is 80s booking.
Really 80s booking, bro. 80s as hell, like no modern day. And you want to talk about the goatee? It's 2 different colors. So people thought it was AI. He looks wild, bro. He looks wild. Shout out Jerry Lawler.
Jason Voorhees. It was 3 weeks till Halloween.
Yeah, it was Jason Voorhees versus the Tiger.
It was on Friday the 13th. That's why they did that.
Oh, okay.
It's still
so
like
every active wrestler on that show we let go of.
What's wrong with this guy, man? What's wrong with him, bro? E-Rock, what's wrong with this guy?
Drinking that haterade. He doesn't know what a top flight show is.
Exactly.
A top flight show is Jason Voorhees versus the Tiger.
The Tiger. Hey, how about this? How about you get your pyro game up, dog? Get your pyro game up. They have pyro.
The only thing I'm going to say, I guess, is that I just feel like it's a very disappointing time where you have a nationally televised audience and, it's supposed to be a big deal, division on the line, all that kind of stuff. And then that's what's delivered. It's just disappointing. Wrestling fans deserve more, and that's why they're going to get more coming up this Saturday at AEW Collision. Anyways, we're out of time, guys.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Grind City Wrestling ain't like that.
Oh,
no.
I want to know
why he does the booking for Grind City Wrestling.
Whoever they are pretty damn awesome, I'll tell you. Yeah.
Yo,
Anyways,
I hope I see Prince Nana on Saturday, bro. That's what I want to see Saturday. I say him back there. My bad. I want to see Prince Nana in real life.
well, if you
I
don't
wanna
see
get
Prince
trapped.
Nana on Saturday, then you'll see him next Sunday at Memphis Wrestling. But that's all the time we have right now. For E-Rock, Eric McMahon, Devin Walker, Bebe, I am Dustin Starr, saying so long, everybody.
Jason
Or when
Voorhees
I
versus
drop-
the Tiger.
And I-